Hello and welcome along to Susty Talk, Edie's series of video interviews with sustainability leaders designed to keep you feeling connected during lockdown, second lockdown and beyond. I'm delighted to have Claire Thompson-Sage from UPS on the call. She is the business's sustainability development coordinator, and it's great to catch up, Claire. I feel like it's been a long time.
It has. We've got together on certain webinars and events, but having a one-to-one talk, this is the first time in quite a while.
For sure. And while a lot of businesses have had a particularly quiet year, I know that for logistics and delivery, it's been absolutely mad. So how has the sustainability agenda changed for yourselves and for this sector this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing record high volumes in the UK, and I think a lot of other countries are seeing the same, but UPS has always had sustainable logistics at the forefront, and it's not really changed in 2020, despite the pandemic, really. So we're still concentrating on sustainability, and we've managed to hit 4 of our 2020 sustainability targets a year ahead of schedule, and that includes purchasing 25% alternative vehicles for our purchase of new vehicles coming into the fleet.
Fantastic. And I know that one of the sort of flagships, one of the case studies for that is the depot in London, the Camden depot, which is all about not only those alternative vehicles, but about using end-of-life batteries. So what's it been like looking at these sort of innovations in 2020?
So we started off with the Smart Electric Urban Logistics project back in 2017, and that was really about mitigating the need for a grid upgrade to electrify more of our vehicles and provide that infrastructure. Starting this year, we've moved on to the second phase, the FLES project, which is more about energy management and balancing those local energy systems. So about looking at the cost of energy throughout the day, using battery storage, how we can link solar, how V2G, and how all those systems can fit together to optimise the use of energy and reduce cost, so that at any point in time we're doing the best thing with our electricity supply, which ultimately our goal for that is just to bring down the cost of electrification. So that project started this year, and that will run through to October next year. So hopefully we'll be able to share the results of that later on in 2021. Mm-hmm. We're also looking forward to the arrival vehicles coming into the fleet as well. So we're currently in phase 1 testing of that. So that's really going to extend our electrification in the long term.
That's great to hear. We recently had a roundtable event with a lot of energy managers, and a lot of them said, you know, this has just brought home the importance of energy efficiency and making sure that electrification is more affordable, as you mentioned. But has it been all right being able to sort of procure and install technologies and vehicles this year?
Yeah, we've been looking at new charging equipment, again, looking at what we can do and how we can optimise systems. So we're looking at new chargers that can operate on the standard 11 kilowatt charge, but also on 22. As we move to more of electrification, to give more flexibility to managers. So, for instance, if they have early deliveries and they need a vehicle charging earlier, or they need to do a late pickup and start the charging later, it will give more flexibility. So it's all about being able to electrify, but also being able to assist the business operations in the busy times that we're seeing and demand for deliveries at different times of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's obvious that context is key in this, and obviously for any project like that, you have to talk with the utilities, with the grid operators, and with the local authorities. I presume. So I wanted to come on to that topic of collaboration. So we talk about this a lot with our Susty Talk interviewees. A lot of people have had to put their collaboration online, or they might see a tighter budget, but some people say that actually makes conversations easier. So there seems to be two sides to this coin. So what have your partnerships and your external work looked like this year, Claire?
They've been very good, to be honest. Again, meeting online, the facilities now, it's enabled less travel. So in some respects, meeting online, you can get more done when you're not having to travel to places. So a lot of the collaboration, particularly on the smart grid project that we have running with UK Power Network Services, MOX are the software company. A lot of what they do and the design of the Camden system is all cloud-based and AI learning, based on understanding, learning from our vehicle profile, what energy we need, and looking at the energy market. So a lot of that collaboration has been done quite easily. There are some instances where it's hindered, where you have to go and deploy physical assets on site, and we've had to coordinate that with social distancing and COVID compliance. So that bit's been a bit tricky, but most of the meetings, yeah, it's actually, I think, been more productive in some of our collaborations.
Mm-hmm. I've definitely got a lot of photos that are just councillors standing very far apart at electric bus stations this year, for sure. And something else I wanted to come on to this year. So not only is there this new environment of working, but it's a new policy environment as well. So every week it seems like we get something ticked off. Matt described this month's announcements like the energy white paper and the 10-point plan. He's like, oh, it's almost like a little low carbon advent calendar, a little net zero run up to Christmas. So it'd be great to hear about how UPS has been engaging with policymakers on some of that, and what you're hoping to see in the new year as well.
Yeah, we've been collaborating. We constantly collaborate with government at all levels and different organisations. So we've been heavily involved with consulting with the DFT and the Department for Business, Energy and Industry Strategy, as well as local councils consulting on clean air zones, and more recently, more about pedestrianisation and how the landscape's changed. So we talk to a lot of those councils and offer advice and consultation, but also making sure that we're learning from them about their future plans, so we can plan our operations around the changes that are being made in policy. We also consult and collaborate with a lot of other organisations such as Flying Up Earth and the Low Carbon Vehicle Partnership. So collaboration is definitely key, and it'll be interesting to see how some of those policies in the white paper and the 10-point plan play out. We've talked to the DFT and some of the funding and large-scale demonstrators that they're looking to do next year around different alternative vehicles. So it'll be really exciting to see how those 10-point plans come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the delivery in the early months. It's always exciting to see it happening in the real world. It's different from hearing, oh, X amount of £1 million for a hydrogen vehicle than actually getting the pictures of the vehicle, right?
Definitely, yeah. So hopefully there'll be plenty of that. You can stay tuned to see how that develops, and UPS is part in some of those policies moving forward.
Fantastic. And Claire, I'm nearly out of time for the call, but one of the questions that we're asking everyone that's popping onto our videos this time of year is for their New Year's resolution. So not, I want to run a marathon or I'd like to eat less mince pies, but about their professional sustainability related goals for 2021. Okay,
I gave this some thought, and there's one area that's at the forefront really, which is that we've committed a 12% absolute reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, and that is something that, as it's an absolute goal, where we're hitting record highs with volume, to hit that 12%, we are going to have to go even further than that per vehicle and per facility to achieve that if we continue with the growth that we're seeing. So that is going to be my big focus, and the team are really seeing how we can drive that and overall greenhouse gas emissions next year. I'm also looking forward to the arrival vehicles coming, and that will have a big impact not just in the UK but globally. So that's going to be a key development as we're starting to roll into beta testing. So the arrival vehicles and getting them and our overall greenhouse gas emissions are really going to be the focus next year.
I think that's a lot of people will relate to. I'm sure that a lot of people will be turning it to looking how to decouple emissions from growth as they try to bounce back from COVID. So that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much, Claire, for your insight today.
You're welcome. Good catch up with you.